It was just another night in Denver, Colorado. A cool breeze drifted off the Rockies, the city glowing under 1,000 streetlights. Interstate 25 buzzed with the usual Friday traffic, people on their way home, to friends, to families, to life. But for one woman, that night would be her last. And for one boy, barely a teenager, that night would mark the end of his freedom, and perhaps the end of his soul. Pamela Cabriales was 32 years old, a devoted mother, a sister, a friend. She had dreams like anyone else, a future, a family waiting for her. But for one woman, that night would be her last. And for one boy, barely a teenager, that night would mark the end of his freedom, and perhaps the end of his soul. Pamela Cabriales was 32 years old, a devoted mother, a sister, a friend. She had dreams like anyone else, a future, a family waiting for her. But all of that would be stolen in a moment so sudden, so senseless, it would shake a city to its core. February 20th, 2021. Pamela was stopped at a red light near Colfax Avenue after what seemed like a minor fender bender. Nothing major, no injuries. She was sitting in her car, calm, maybe even a little annoyed, like anyone would be. She had no way of knowing that across the street, in another car, sat a 14-year-old boy and his older accomplice. His name? Remi Cordova. Cordova wasn't a troubled man in his 20s. He wasn't a gang leader or hardened criminal. He was a child, 14 years old. But somehow, this child had an AR-15, a weapon of war. And within minutes, he would use it. What happened next was horrifying and utterly random. According to witnesses, Cordova exited his car, walked across the intersection, and approached Pamela's vehicle. He didn't yell. He didn't argue. He raised the AR-15 and fired 6 shots directly into her window. One of those bullets struck her in the head. Just like that, Pamela was gone. No time to react, no time to speak, just silence. She was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. A mother taken from her child, a sister taken from her brother. Her life extinguished. So why did he do it? Police would later uncover that Remi was in the car with an older teen who had been involved in the earlier fender bender. Investigators believe Remi went to handle the situation with a rifle. In his interrogation, Cordova gave no clear motive. He was emotionless, cold, at times even amused. Bodycam footage, now released to the public, shows officers arresting him, calm, compliant, and disturbingly casual. In the interrogation room, you'd expect regret, panic, even fear. But Cordova? He shrugs. He stares blankly. He speaks in flat tones, as if killing a stranger was just another part of his night. The detectives press him for answers. Why? What made you pull the trigger? But he gives them nothing. Not anger, not sorrow, not guilt. The public was stunned, outraged, heartbroken. A child had murdered an innocent woman. And for what? A minor crash? No fight? No history? No reason? Just evil. Cordova was charged as an adult, and the courts agreed. In 2023, he was sentenced to life in prison for first-degree murder. And while his age sparked debates about juvenile justice, about gun access, about parenting, one fact remained. Pamela Cabriales was never coming home. In court, her family sobbed as they spoke. Her brother's voice cracked as he said, "My sister was more than a victim. She was light. She was love. And now she's gone." As the gavel fell, Cordova barely flinched. Life behind bars, for a life he took without mercy.